Hi, everybody. I'm here for Professor Carol Costley to say a little bit of something about this SIG. And as you can see, it does include the study of mainly education, but it also has some relationship to organizational studies. But it has to do with people who look at people who learn in the workplace. And it's, again, a broad church, as Jane said, a lot of things going on, and a long history, which I'll show you a little bit about. It's been going on at Middlesex for quite some time. And one of the things that we're doing right now is putting a lot of that history back into play and trying to get those resources out to you and do some new things as well. So if I could just take you through, I've got a little something at the end here. Shams, if you could go through, so this is the site from SIRS, and if you go through, not to the ones on the right at this point, but we do have events and we will be talking about new events. We're planning one in May. If you go to the highlighted link with the SIG also operates right under the picture. That's it. So as mentioned, this Research Center SIG has been operating for quite some time. It's changed over the years, and it started with, I would say, work-based learning, which is now coming back to the fore with apprenticeships in all their various forms. But this is an older site, but as you can see, it has a lot of links, and Shams will just take you through. There's links in the front there, and as you go through, you'll see, no, down, carry on. There you go. Just scroll and tells you a little bit about the history. And what we're doing, and what we've been asked to do, is make all of these sites work together. And you'll see if you keep on going down the doctoral sites, which I'll mention again, and the staff involved. So staff involved in this Work and Learning Research Center SIG are all over the university. And as Professor Daryl Bravenbauer, actually he's the leader for apprenticeships at the university. So we come from all over, and we come in the different departments all across the university. We have Professor David Bowd and Professor Carol Costley. So if you go back up, Shams. So as I said, we're getting together things. Networks, brilliant. Go to networks. And this again gives you some links to all the different places that you can go and get information. As I said, this has been a very active SIG over the years. A lot of people have been involved. But if you also just go through to that first link, Shams, to the Work and Learning Network. So this is our most recent site, and the one that we've been really active on, especially during the pandemic. For example, the various links there on that row. This picture actually came from a conference that we had in Leuven as a part of the network. So there's a lot of information there, but for example, and I'll take you to one in a minute, we held an event that had to do with inclusivity in June last year. And if you go to the next one, the event, Shams, there you go, and just go to abstracts, EDI colloquium, down a little bit. That's it. So again, with a little bit of looking, this was a quick one-day event, but it was so exciting. People came on, and these are people, some of the leading lights, and some people who are just practitioners doing a fantastic job, and also doing research. So one of our target audiences is newer researchers and practitioner researchers who are doing things now about what's happening now. And our keynote there, Jenny, was so exciting to hear. And if you go down a bit, and these have also been put now in the e-journal that we have, an in-house e-journal. It was so exciting to be here on the day, and there was a lot of discussion, a lot of conversation. And our next date is the 20th of May, and we're going to get that out to people soon. And this is what we're hoping to do to involve more doctoral students in these sort of activities. We also have an active mailing list. Shams, if you go back up to the top, Brilliant. And if you go, so we have a new thing about apprenticeships. If you go to apprenticeships and go to Professor Daryl Ravenbauer, what we're trying to do is keep people up to date about what's happening now, especially if this type of work cuts across what you're looking at or studying and what people are doing right now in the field. And if you go back up, Shams, to that line, so there are lots of different places to go. We're doing this. If you go to doctoral studies and all the way down to doctoral students, so the nice thing about these websites is that we can put things really quickly up. And again, what we're trying to do, what we've been asked to do, is make this a lot more accessible for SIRS. So if you actually go to the picture, the presentation, and go to the, there you go, you can go to the next slide. This was again in Leuven. This is a panel that was held, really interesting. It had employers, it had students, and it had people in the field, and it was really interesting to go to. This slide sort of shows you all those different sites that we're now working on, and the fact and how you can sort of go from one to another. And yeah, if you go to the next one, Shams, the doctoral programs. So while the staff in this, if you go to the one previous, Shams, no, that's it. And that's it. And the one previous, there you go. While many of our, nope, yep, there you go. While many of our staff work across different programs, Lena mentioned that there's a lot of work going on in education. There's the HSC, doctoral programs, but the programs that exist in this area are also the PhD work-based learning, the PhD work-based learning by Public Works, and the PhD professional studies. I saw Sarah has come today, and that's a picture of her representation on that front SIRS sheet, which is what we're encouraging people to do. So there are people in this particular area, and then this area of work also extends to other programs. Shams, if you go to the next one now. Brilliant. These are just some links and just some things that we wanted to share. The fact that we do actually contribute to the research degrees administration's presentations, training, research training, and we feel they're very valuable for students to do during their time. There are also some impact case studies that you might want to check out, and other playlists and presentations. And again, any kind of ideas. I know examples are really good when you're studying to go to the next stage. If you, Shams, if you go on to the next one. So the other thing that we do, as we mentioned, is we do, and we have had a long history, and many of the people in the room today have been a part of that history. Presentations, celebrations of the community, nationally and internationally, that do work in this area. It's a difficult area to work in because sometimes it falls in between the cracks. So it's really important that it's here in education, and that SIRS is supporting it. And it hopefully we will go from strength to strength, and look forward to also hearing from you. Please go to the site. Please get back to me about any kind of suggestions or anything you'd like to see, because it's very easy to put up. And we look forward to hearing from you, and also having more doctoral students participate in our activities.